Oh, look at this.
Welcome,
Oh
everybody.
my goodness. Welcome, everybody.
So,
And of course, we have the delay that goes to YouTube.
yeah,
I
we'll
can
take
see. Yeah.
it's about
Few
20 seconds so
delay.
people will see us.
Nice graphics.
Welcome, everybody.
Goodness.
I need to turn off the audio if you want.
Yeah, I just turned it off.
Perfect. So, I think we can get started.
Yeah. Okay, so welcome, everybody. It's been a while since we had a live release. It's been a while since we had a hangout with the whole team or parts of the team. Sergey is probably sleeping, so is Anton. And I was dragged out of my bed because it's so early here. It's not even 10 o'clock. My gosh. And my buddy Rude over there had to wake me up at the crack of dawn. See what I do for this project. Welcome, everybody, once again. We hope that you guys are staying safe with your loved ones. We hope that you're not getting crazy, getting stuck inside. We hope that things are starting slowly to return to what was normal a few months ago. And to help you with that transition, we're going to do a live release today. We haven't been the fastest to implement things during this period because we had other stuff to attend in our personal lives, but we are releasing 4.0.6 today. And this will be the last version in the 4.0 series. So our next version will be 4.1 because we have a lot more things to offer. We got a little presentation for you guys. Nothing crazy, just a few highlights, and then we can start the release and just chit chat. So if you have any questions, as Rude mentioned in the chat, by all means, put it up there, and we'll answer it as much as we'll answer it. So where's my share stuff? Let me share my desktop. There we go. So the regular format of the slides for those that have been with us. We're going to have our community hangout today. And of course, our agenda is to say good morning and welcome to everybody. Of course, as usual, a thank you to the whole community, quick status update, and then we're doing our release. Okay. Once again, and this might be getting boring for those that are watching all of our hangouts, but it is essential to thank you, the whole community, for their support, for their help, for even finding one bug, even trying to just correct a simple mistake, a simple typo in our documents. Anything, any input is valuable to us, and we use that input in order to try and make the framework much better. And for that, we have the community to thank you. These are all our social links. You can find us anywhere you need there. And of course, the list of contributors and people that help the project can be found in GitHub. The first link, of course, is just for Phalcon, but there's additional repositories that you can look in for instance, the documents, the Zephyr, and all that stuff. Especially Incubator and DevTools seem to be relatively busy because it's pure PHP and you don't need any Zephyr or C to work with that. So also a huge thank you to our translators in Crowden. We have mentioned before, we're using Crowden for our translation efforts in terms of translating the main website as well as the documentation. And thank you to everybody that decided to offer some of their time to translate all of our documents. So the process is as follows. We only accept translations for V4. V3 is as it is, and it will not change. It will remain as a project over there. What happens is you decide which language you know, which you're comfortable with. You go and translate whatever you need, whatever you can, and then you submit those translations. Another member in the team in Crowden looks at the translations and actually approves them or not. Those are the proofreaders. They have been with us for a little bit longer. And then once those get approved, Crowding automatically pushes that code by a pull request in our documentation repository. And then what we do is we just manually go and update the site and push it upstream, and Netlify builds the documentation for us. So that's the whole process. And then in the end, we have Algolia indexing the site once a day. We thank every one of you that has decided to put a little bit of time to translate some documentation, because that in the end helps others that are not so well versed with the English language. All right, so quick hi to everybody. We have around 15 people watching right now. Very quickly to go through the list, I guess. Hello, Yotrax, Jamnik, Richard, Arnaud, John, Andromedus, SO Interactive, Sand. So everybody, welcome, guys. Nice to see you all. The quick answer to John was, if you guys are streaming this somewhere else as well, we're only streaming it on YouTube. As Ruud mentioned, we have looked into streaming it into different platforms as well. There is a project called Restream, which allows you to stream into more than one areas, and also Entropy. From what I have seen, you could seamlessly start streaming it on DLive and YouTube at the same time. BitChute still doesn't have at least an open streaming service yet. I know that they're doing this in a beta format, and we're not in their beta. And Brighteon as well, the OR library do not have streaming capabilities. You have to upload the video. The only one that's doing this is Twitch and YouTube. We don't have an account in Twitch, but for YouTube is going to be there. However, once the other video processing channels catch up with the streaming, we will definitely be streaming on multiple channels, just to make sure that people choose the channel of their choice, or whatever their preference. Personal belief, YouTube is not as it used to be. A lot of people want more diversity, and they go to different platforms. So we're gonna be present in pretty much all the platforms we can be, in order to give you guys the choice. Yes, and for Discord, we need server boosts, so that works. Anyhow, so for our sprint summary, this has been a really long sprint. It hasn't been 2 weeks. It's been well over a month or two, maybe. I don't remember the last time that we released. I guess we got caught with all this craziness with the virus, and of course, family first. Open source project goes second, maybe third, maybe later, especially after trying to figure out where you find toilet paper. Let's not forget that. And so a tiny summary here is we had 120 implemented cards. We have 4 that we're kind of like working on it. Some of them are sample applications. Some of them are waiting for input. Some of them are just adding some stuff in the documentation, which you haven't done it. And also we had 12 of them in the current sprint. So 16 cards were kind of like in a limbo. We tagged them as 4.0.6. We're not going to fix those. We're just going to simply move them to 4.1. And I know it's not very agile-esque, but hey, you know, we did as best as we could, given the circumstances. You can track all this process in our GitHub account. All you have to do is just click on Phalcon, the organization, and then all you have to do is just click on the projects of the organization, not the C Phalcon repository. Just click on the first word, which says Phalcon. Hold on a second. Let me actually show you this. Where is this? Give me just one sec. All right, let me bring this over. Presume this one will be okay. So once you're in here, all you have to do is just click on Phalcon, the actual top name that's where our organization is. And once you click on Phalcon, you're going to be greeted with this page, which has the most popular repositories. And all you have to do is just click here on projects. And there you're going to see the Phalcon roadmap. And in here you have this screen. Just me make it a little bit bigger. And you can track whatever we've done in this current screen. We're going to keep on updating this. So from right to left a little bit, we have here a whole column of things that were just questions, were things that were not verified necessarily, things that were duplicate, things that we will not fix because there's something else in the pipeline, and so on and so forth. Of course, this column is released, what we have released, and this started since V4. We have 180 issues. We have 120 implemented in this particular sprint, and these were the ones that I was telling, the 12 and the 4 here. And of course, we have a backlog, which is big. Yay! Keeps on going. But bear in mind that this project tracks a lot of things. It doesn't track only the C Phalcon repository. It also tracks the dev tools, the documentation, the incubator, pretty much everything, all right? So we just bump everything in because we have a release of V4, which relates mostly to the other repositories. So to give you an idea, if we release a, let's say 4.0.6, we definitely have to produce IDE stubs, right? So to do that, we need to make sure that once one release is done on the main repository, if you like, then we will release the IDE stubs. We're going to make sure that the dev tools are compatible, and so on and so forth. So you have to go through a list. And this is pretty much how we keep track on it. I don't remember how many cards we have in the backlog. Apparently it updated now. We have 122 cards in the backlog to be done. And as far as the work that we have for C Phalcon and 4.1, let's go here. This is the easiest way to do it. Just click on the label. So apparently we have 72 issues tagged for 4.1. And a lot of these, as you see, they're new feature requests. Pretty much all of them are new feature requests. It's not, we don't have that many bugs. So you see 1, 2, maybe 3, 5 bugs in a whole page. And this whole page has all sorts of stuff that we need to do. And all these came from particularly from the NFR list, which is the new feature request list that the community has been driving for quite a long time. All these NFRs, a quick reminder to those that haven't heard it before. What we do is whenever we get an NFR, we go here to this particular issue, and we actually add it into this NFR list vote. This issue is kind of like a placeholder for every NFR that we have. Once we implement that NFR, we delete the comment here. So you create an NFR, you want something, you offer it to the community. What we do is we take your issue, the one that you created, the NFR, we copy the link and we close the issue immediately, or quickly, and then we add it down here as a comment. So this way the community can actually come over here and just see the list of all the NFRs that we have. If I go to the bottom, you're going to see some new ones. For instance, this one came 23 days ago, registering custom expressions in PHQL dialects like Postgres, add expression. And this is the actual link to the original issue. So this one already got a couple of votes, and you usually put the up thumbs for voting up. Another one here on the security component, different UUID versions, add method to MVC model criteria interface. It didn't get the votes for now. This one got a vote down. So this is pretty much how the community corresponds with what we need, right? A quick hello to Henry, Wajdi, and I think I said hi to Watrax. And then what we do is we actually schedule them. As you can see, these here have little labels. So we got this scheduled for 4.1, and the age is ancient. And I was trying to be smart here because some of these things, the age is ancient. To give you an idea, if you look at it, you can see it from the number on the issue. So this was issue 329, and now we're in the 15,000 that are new issues, the numbers that they get. And this one was created, for instance, 2013 in January. So it's the support of embedded blocks in Vault, something that people have asked quite a lot. Like we said before, small team, we gotta prioritize. And also for the list, once we get all these issues together, and we put them in, or once we get those NFRs together and we put them into that issue, the next time we deploy the documentation, there's an API call that goes and interrogates that particular issue in GitHub, picks up all the reactions and then sorts them, and then it produces this page in our documentation, which, if you want to find it, I have the. All right, so you come to the documentation, you click on NFR here under contributions, right? And then at the top of the NFR, you have list of all NFRs, okay? So you can just click on that, and then you're gonna see the list of all the NFRs and how many votes they got. So the most popular thing right now is the many-to-many behavior save related. And then the next one is the ability to handle requests by PSR server request. And this one, the HTTP with 16 votes, is very heavily tied with this one here, the HTTP rework, the Phalcon HTTP stack, because we're gonna have to rethink how the whole thing goes. Reworking the HTTP stack is not as easy as people might think. There will have to be some sort of a redesign or playing around with the routes. That's one. Two, you're going to have to address how the HTTP request is going to be coming in. And then will you just leave it as is so that people work with will Vault fragments caching be possible in 4.1? Probably not, Janik. The cache service is completely incompatible with the cache that used to be there in Vault. There was a lot of OB start and OB end and OB get contents in the old cache. So that's what allowed you to specify a cache service into a vault fragment. That's pretty much it. That we tried really hard to actually get something, but it was not very stable per se, and it was not compatible with the cache engine that we got introduced in v4, which is the PSR, what is it, 16 or something, a simple cache compatible. You can achieve stuff like that with either caching the fragment yourself and then pushing it out, and I'll let you know how to do that. You can use services like Cloudflare that will cache things. You can use services like Varnish. Cloudflare is more on the free side. Varnish probably is a little bit more on the setup and pay side and all that stuff. Now, on your view, the example that you posted, it's a vault fragment, cache service, key, lifetime, and all that stuff. What you could do is, if you have an area that you want to cache and you don't want it to be populated or calculated all the time, what you could do is you could grab it on your controller, render it, whether this is with a simple view or otherwise, and then all you have to do is just throw that variable in your view, and that will be printed out. So you will control whether that particular part of your application gets printed out or what. Now, it's going to require a little bit more discipline, bringing some of the printout, if you like, a little bit in the controller. So the controller will define where your printout is, but it will give you additional functionality in the future should you want to change your application to a more Ajax-E with view or next or whatever you want to use, where your domain is the one that controls what gets shown in the view. And the view is kind of like a simple, crazy thing that just spits things out. So you could do that. In v4, there's also, in v3 and v4, we have two views. One is the view and the other one is view simple. So in the view simple, you can actually grab a fragment, a vault fragment, throw it into the view simple with some parameters, which will come from an array, and then the render will produce the HTML, and then you can spit that HTML out, right? The view itself requires a controller and an action, and that's how it's going to do. But that view also for v4, in case you missed it, also has a toString method. It's kind of like a new thing that was introduced in v4. So you could potentially make the Phalcon view work as the view simple was, by simply saying, all right, I don't want you to do rendering and print it out on screen. I want you to give it to me back as a variable, and then I decide where, when, and how I can throw it in. So slight reorganization, you could get all those little fragments in variables, and then in your domain model, in your controller, or wherever you have your business logic, you can decide how things get printed out and when you can print them out and when you can cache them. So I know that's not what you wanted to hear. You probably wanted the quick and dirty solution with the cache, but that's not feasible. I don't know if it's going to be feasible ever, to be quite frank with you, but yeah, this is what it is. So yeah, coming back very quickly to the what I was saying with the HTTP layer and accepting all these requests, the PSR7 requests. It's not as simple as it might seem, because we will have to touch the router, the dispatcher. The whole HTTP layer has to be rethought in a sense that will we actually offer a new request and response objects, or we will just leave the PSR7 compatible components. A lot of people do not do that. There's also a lot of services um, offered by different frameworks to encapsulate everything that the HTTP does. So you will have one master service that will handle your request, your cookies, your CSRF, your everything. Whereas there's another school of thought that they're saying, well, you know what, you should be responsible for doing it. Our vision and goal would be to use this in some sort of a middleware fashion and still have um, a service where you could do the things that you usually do. For instance, right now you have request get post. So that one will get a post variable from the request uh, that you got. So we want to have that functionality because this is good functionality for people to do it, automatic sanitization and all that stuff. So a lot of things to be addressed there. It's one of the things that we're working on. So where I was getting with this whole blah blah is that this whole HTTP rework of the stack, as well as the ability to handle the PSR7 request, these two will be addressed together. And then we're going to try and address the Vault ones together, or the DI together, and so on and so forth. So they're all in our to-do list. Additionally, for some of them, if we don't have a clear direction as to how and why, we might introduce them first to the incubator, then get a lot more input from the community. And once they are stable in the incubator and we have worked out all the kinks, then move them to the main repository. I've been leaning very much towards that implementation for two components. One is the queue and the other one is the Mongo one. The biggest problem that we have is interfaces. Phalcon has to be able to load all the interfaces that it references. The example that I have given numerous times is, for instance, right now we have a dependency for PSR. So PSR as an extension has to be loaded before Phalcon. If we are to use in the queue service, the queue interop interface that a relevant group has produced on the web, that interface / extension has to be there before Phalcon gets loaded. So that makes it two extensions to be loaded. If you're looking at Mongo and you want to use the new BSON serializer, which is very powerful, the latest and greatest, well, you cannot add that interface without having the extension loaded. So that makes another 3. And you cannot expect people that just want to use Phalcon to load 3 different extensions for components that they might not even use. So one of the ideas was to actually take those components that are relatively popular, Mongo, for instance, in Q, and get them into the incubators as initial implementations, and then figure out a way on how you can move them into the main project if you want to move them. So we can work things out that way. Some of our thoughts I just wanted to share with you so that you will know where we are. Not here. Now let me go back to my slides. Okay, the roadmap, I actually showed you the GitHub roadmap and the NFR list. The top one is the issue where you can go and vote. And the bottom link is I showed you just how many 4.1 tagged issues we have. It was in the 70s, close to 80. And a couple of bits and pieces just to give you an idea. We're still working on 4.1 on the data mapper pattern. This is a new implementation. It will be, again, I'm going to repeat this, it will be side by side on what we already have, which is the active record. And we're going to keep the active record for at least one major version, just to make sure that everybody is okay with it. Now, should the data mapper prove to be slower, no harm done. We're just going to slowly remove it, and another version and active record will keep on going. But should it become faster, and should it prove to be faster and easier for people to use, um, absolutely, we're going to leave both implementations in the framework so that people can use them and later on slowly migrate from A to B. The data mapper is based on Atlas PHP. And so far we have implemented the PDO, which is uh, it's an extension of the current PDO. It offers a little bit more functionality. And we also did the query builder. Now the current work is on the info and schema, and then it's gonna wrap up with the mapper table and ORM in the future. These two, the PDO and the query, you can actually use them right now. They're in the 4.1 branch. So once we start working fully on 4.1 and not on 4.0, you can pick them up, or you can check out the branch and see them there. Also, we have been working on a container. This is kind of like an old slide. I had this back in January, I think, in our previous presentation. Uh, there is a PSR 11 container that has been worked on. And this is its card. It hasn't changed much. I didn't pay that much attention to this because there were other things going on. But we are in the 97% code coverage. We have lazy loading everywhere. There is caching, but not if you have specified a closure. We have property setters and mutations that are being defined for every single service in the configuration. It does do the auto wiring just fine. And there's two things: the service providers, which is pretty much the configuration part, and the tests need a little. As you can see, it's got 97% code coverage. So it's just that little 3% that you need to have in order to fully cover every particular aspect of it. I think if memory serves right, I was not covering an edge case with different mutations that you wanted to achieve in your container. So for those that don't know the language or are just a little bit confused, uh, usually when you say auto wiring, you just request an object from your container, and if the object that you get has a constructor that accepts two or three other objects, the container will try and find those objects in its internal memory and then inject them inside your, so you wouldn't have to do the construct part yourself. And if those services do not exist, they will create them. Now that's the that's the idea of auto wiring, right? But there's also another thing. If you might want something to happen right after the object gets created, and that is called a mutation. That's how the lingo goes. An example for me to give you is you want to create a logger object. So it will auto wire on its own. It will give you the logger, but then the mutation would be to specify which adapter you want to use. Let's say you want a stream adapter, and then you want that adapter to store data into the blah 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 abc.log. This is all this part, this setup part is called the mutations, and that would happen right before the object gets given to you. So that's an idea of what the mutation is. And that's about it. We're gonna go to me, and that's me, the team, and I'm gonna stop this thing if I can. There you go. And we should start the deployment, right?
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Maybe we can check for some questions. If there are any questions, please drop them in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So, should I do this here or in the, what you call it, in the C Phalcon straight up? I'll do it in the C Phalcon. That one was my clone.
Right.
My fork rather, not clone. Okay, so do I have C Phalcon here? There. All right, so let's get VS Code. Let's close the guys. And this one is at 4.1, so I just need to change it. Okay, so that's the whole code that we have here from V4. Okay, so first things first, we need to all right, there's nothing. So we still open this 4.0.6. Okay, that's one. Then we need to open config.json. All right, 4.0.6. That's correct. Then we need upfair and changelog. Upfair 4.0.6. Which Sapphire are we going to do? 17, right? Root?
Yeah, absolutely. 17.
Okay.
On 4.1, we will switch to .19.
Okay. So that one is there. Okay, so now we have two things to do. One is to go here. Workflow. There is a thing that I need to change here somewhere. Do you remember? I thought I added it here in the notes that we have.
Not sure.
Remember, we had to change something because it was failing here. This is the package cloud cleanup, the static code analyzer, which is fine. Should be here in the build and test. All right, so 17 is our parser, which is fine. That one, that one, that one.
I think it's only the case if we change the Sapphire version, isn't it?
No, it wasn't only that. It was, we had to change something in here. There was a little thing that was requested here somewhere. It was tracking it was tracking the version.
Maybe you
I
mean
remember you told me once.
the package one. You mean for Phalcon?
Well, the package is down here. Where is it? Package is down here, which is fine, right?
We should update that one as well, but
yeah. All right. Well, we'll figure it out. This is what you get by not writing it down the minute you see it. Okay, so 4.0.6. That one will be 05, and the date will be 16 today. So let's copy this. Okay. And And then let's go to the package. Hold on a sec. What was that? It was 2. Okay. I'm looking at how many hashes we have. So it's an H2 there. Okay, and this one will become 6. Like that. I think.
Yeah, and then also in the top you have to change it.
Okay, so this one is 5. So this one becomes 6. This one becomes 6. What time is it now, Ruud?
It's this is okay in Dutch time.
17. All right. So 5:16. Okay. This is fine. This is fine. Okay. Blah blah blah. This looks okay. All right. So this one gets saved. Check the Phalcon version. The version must be correct and what we're deploying. Change the config, update, change log package. And now you need to generate the code. And this is one of the things that I forgot to do is to get the Zephyr version. Remember, I was going to get it and we got distracted by other things. So, all right, we have this particular to those that and hello to Jeremy that joined us. To those that are wondering what we're doing, we need to compile Phalcon with a specific version, and right now the 12.17 will be the version that we will compile Phalcon v 4.0. 4.1 would be compiled with 12.19. We made some significant changes and found some issues that need to be addressed. So that's why we're going to have that version over there. All right, let me pull this here so I can have my notes on this side. Let me bring the terminal. And where's the Zephyr for? Okay, so it's sudo nv Zephyr to user bin Zephyr. Yes. All right, 2.17. That's all I wanted to know. So now what we're going to do, all right, as you see, we had only the change log and the package XML. Everything else was fine, had the correct version. Actually, let me see something. There you go. You see it, Ruud?
Yeah, got it here. Yeah.
That's the one that I was thinking of, and I need to put it down. It's in the workflows, build and test.
Please add it to the notes, yeah.
Yeah, I need to add it to the notes, definitely. So I don't know why I couldn't find it earlier, but all right, there's a set env here. So trusted control 4.0. There you go. Control find. So it's 1. So 6. That's what we need to do. Okay, so this one is done. And so now what we need to do is we need to generate the code. Can
you check your Sapphire version?
It's 14. Crap. That's not good.
Nope.
Hold on a sec, let me think. All right, so that's the ZTS. Hold on. There is a place where you put the configuration, and I need to remember where that is. Is it maybe etc? Where's my buddy when I need him? Okay, so let's put something here. What was it? Max memory?
Yeah, fix is max underscore memory. Or maybe memory limit, by the way.
Is it? Wasn't it? That?
Yeah, that's the one, memory underscore limit.
All right, so memory limit is there. Okay. All right.
Can you
What?
Can you double check the version that you're running now? Command line of Sapphire?
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. There you go, 17.
Oh, thanks.
All right. Okay, so text domain doesn't exist, which is fine because I don't have get text installed on my machine. It's perfectly fine to run on that. ng again is get text, blah blah blah. Again, get text. So it did generate the new root, so to speak. But I made a mistake because actually I didn't know. It says always use the latest stable Zephyr, not the developer, which is fine. All right, so I thought it meant PHP status. So you see here, we got a lot of stuff in the ext folder, which is great. Okay. And then git add, git updating version number. And now what we need to do is we need to go to generate the other stuff. So in this folder, is it here? Is it the build here? No. It's this build here. So in the root project, you're going to see a build folder here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go there. Hey, Radoslav, hello. And in this build folder, we need to run the gen build. So PHP gen build. So once we run this, what this command does is it creates optimized versions of what the ext folder has, so that package managers can use those optimized versions to create DLLs, RPM steps, and all that stuff. So if I do a git status here, you're going to see that the files that were generated were 2 pairs. So you're going to see PHP 7, 32 bits, Phalcon H, Phalcon C, which is the headers and the C, and then again, CNH, CNH, and so on and so forth. And those are the ones that are being used to generate all the debs and RPMs and all that stuff. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back and then git add git.com updated optimized versions. Okay. And now what we need to do is it says correct the changelog. Add the current release date in sub version, blah, 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 create one new, check the changelog first, so already done that. Double check the versions in Appware. That's the one that I haven't touched. Okay, let's go here. Where's the Appware part? That was the one that I did not play around with. Okay, so 4.0.6, yes. So, okay. Okay. In case anybody is wondering, I have a checklist here. We have a page in our private repo, and that's how I read what I should do. I don't remember everything. I think only Sergey remembers everything by heart. Okay, so ensure that Appware is build the DLLs correctly. After everything is done, commit the final changes. Okay, so what we need to do is, let's see what happened here, because did I push up? No, I did not. So
No, it's not pushed yet.
okay, no, that's good that I did not push it. It was not gonna. What I did not want to happen is for every commit for the CI to start running, and the worst part is Appware. That's our bottleneck, so to speak.
We're working on trying to get rid of Appware, but
yeah, it's an effort. So we should have, there you go, in 4.0, we should have some activity, and we should see in the actions that things are running, right? Also, we should see this. And then Travis. Okay, so Appware is here. It will load sometime in the future. Okay, let me sign in. GitHub. to go back to this part. Okay, so this one is actually running, which is great. And all right, we're gonna have to wait for all these guys to run. And Travis is kind of like not loading, which is fine. Oh, there you go.
So this is the perfect time to fire questions, guys.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now, what we need is this. All right, so the action should be running here, but what we will also need to do is issue a pull request from V4 to master. So once that is done, then we're going to be able to merge it into master, and we're going to have a release as well. Okay, now let me do this. Go to releases, and we have 4.0.5. That's a V. Actually, I don't want to do it right now. What I want to do is I'm going to wait until the PR is there. And then I'm going to take, one sec, let's see here. What does this one say? All right, after everything is done, commit the file change. We've done that. Ensure that Appian has built all the DLS properly. Issue a pull request to the V4 from the V4 branch to master. Wait for all the checks and tests to complete successfully. Then create a draft release. Okay, so it's after the PR. Once the PR is done, then we create the draft release, because that's the key. We need to make sure that this little tag here, when it gets published, is the correct one. So you don't want to create this a lot earlier than when it should. So before the merge or something like that. And then we're gonna do the package cloud and all that stuff. And we gotta ping also Paul to do the homebrew stuff.
We got a small checklist in GitHub also.
Okay, all right. So where we're here.
It's the latest issue. I already updated it.
Okay, so what do we got here? Let's see. All right, so yep, we're here. Upload Pickle, that's you. Package cloud, we can create that. Blog post, yeah, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 would be in one go. Then you can do the LinkedIn and Wikipedia. Wikipedia doesn't allow me to post unless I remove my firewall, not firewall, my VPN. It's crazy. They know everybody's VPN addresses, so they don't allow you. You have to go through your normal IP address. And I'm thinking, no, thank you.
Okay.
You don't need to know my real address. So
if there's somebody, by the way, on the chat right now who's really familiar with the Wikipedia pages, we would love to update it a bit, make it more fancy.
Yeah. Also, what we would like to do is we would like to automate this as much as possible. So Alexander, maybe we need to use the release GitHub action in the future. We could, Alexander. The GitHub actions kind of like started as a necessity, because as you will all see, we're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for Opveyor to finish for just the DLLs. So you're looking at 3 hours for one release easily, just by waiting, right? Even if you have everything done, and God forbid you made a mistake and you have to do something else. What we wanted to do was to get everything sorted out in GitHub Actions, and you will see where are the actions here. Here, I think you will see that these are running right now. Okay, updated, optimized version. So this one, the static code analysis is done. So these other two are going to be running. What this has done already is it goes in and it builds Phalcon as a package, and then once it builds, it actually downloads it for all three of these actions. So it doesn't have to rebuild it for every single action, thanks to root. So it will run the static code analysis, which is run mostly on our tests and all that, just making sure that we follow some sort of standard, which is PSR 12. And then what it's going to do is it runs the tests with code coverage and sets that code coverage to code cov. And then it runs all the tests, which is the last part of here, the one that says Phalcon CI. And this one has to come up. This one has to come up green. And once it comes up green, we're good to go. Now, in the meantime, while these run, you're gonna see them run for, let's say, 10, 15 minutes. Okay. Well, have a look at Opveyor. Opveyor is still running, and it's got 1, 2, 3 done out of 12. I think it's 12. Yeah, it's 12. It's 1 DLL per version per architecture and per something, per thread. So you're going to have 7.4 x64 NTS, non-thread safe, and TS, thread safe. So that's 2 for that. Then you have 7.4 in the x86 architecture, again, NTS and non-NTS, and so on and so forth. And then go to 7.3 and 7.2. So that our goal is to pretty much get all this into GitHub Actions and everything to be done, but we don't have the DLLs yet. There is an issue that says, I believe it says investigate the size of the DLLs. I don't remember how big they came up, but we tried it and the DLL size was too big, or somehow anyway. Root can give us a little bit more information on that, but yeah, that's what we wanted to do. So the idea was to pretty much fix that, and then you're running your pull requests once you have your draft version, or once you're ready to deploy. You do the pull request, it runs, everything passes, and the minute you merge it, it actually picks up your, I think, anyway, it picks up your whole change log, it adds it to the release. It already has built your DLLs and takes those DLLs as artifacts and then pushes them into the release. So that is kind of like the automated thing. It's pretty much what the Alexander was talking about.
We're still investigating the size of the DLLs. We're not the requests are quite big when they're generated from GitHub, but we're not exactly sure if it's something bad, to be honest. It could be that that's more optimized code in there because we're building on a different version of Visual Studio. So maybe it will just end up with bigger DLL files. But I finally bought a Windows computer, so I can finally figure it out now.
Windows computer, no. Oh, yay.
The Windows computer is currently hosting our stream, by the way.
Wow. Okay.
This is new.
Yeah, but it's only on 7.2, so I'm wondering if this is a lag of sorts. that it wasn't, it couldn't install the package. So this looks fine, because this is the PSR. See, it's only on the PHP 7.2 Ubuntu. 7.2 Mac OS passed. So this is pretty much done. I do believe that this has to do with some lag with the actions, and it's not the.
Well, I see it happened yesterday as well.
Yeah, here you mean these Phalcon CI. Okay, that's fine. I'm happy with it. So what we're gonna do now, according to the trusted thing, it says wait for all the checks and tests to complete successfully. So this one is still running. It's 11 minutes. So this one usually stops at around 15, 20. And then we have to look at this guy,
14.
which needs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's around 15 to 20 minutes for this one too. If you take 3 minutes for everything.
Yeah.
Is anybody writing applications for Phalcon as a C extension written in Zephyr? I don't quite understand the question, Rado. So you mean let's say you have to do a task or something, and you just wrote your code in PHP, for instance, okay, and you want to speed it up, and you convert that code to Zephyr, and instead of having PHP code in your server, you have another extension. That's what you mean. So the question is, I'm wondering, are anybody write-ups for Phalcon as C extension in Zephyr? Yeah, we can rerun actions, Alexander, I know. Just leave it, it's fine. We're just gonna wait for, the DLLs is the most important thing here, because we know we already pass these things. So that's fine. And it's 7.2. Bear in mind, guys, we're now closing in. We're at the middle of May. We're closing in at the end. With Phalcon as dependency. Oh, hold that thought, Radoslav. So what I was saying is we're at the middle of May. So we have June, July, August, September. And maybe October. That's 4 or 5 months or something, right? By September, October, somewhere there, it might also be November anyway, but somewhere there in the fall, PHP 7.2 will cease to have any updates whatsoever, even security ones. So 7.2 will be a goodbye. Let me try and pull it up here. Maybe.
It's on 30 November.
All right, so it's November. There you go. It's the 30th of November. So with Phalcon, we decided with V4 and forward, we decided to follow PHP religiously so that we don't fall back. I mean, we made the mistake. Well, you can say it was a mistake. You can say it wasn't. Anyway,
it was a learning school.
Yes, it was a learning curve. Anyway, what we did is we let PHP 5 a really, really long time ago, and 5.6 was completely gone out of the picture. If you think about it, we released V4 around Christmas, right? A little bit earlier than Christmas. That was the time that we completely said goodbye with PHP 5, right? So PHP 5 stopped in 2019, early 2019, if you look at this little graph. Okay. And that was PHP trying to be nice. They stopped PHP 5.6 and 7 at the same time in order to give people to a little bit more time to adapt. If you were talking about fully live versions that are getting updates and so on and so forth, PHP 5.6 was done in January of 2017. So that's 3 years ago. It's time to move on a little bit. So what we're going to do is, yeah, I know, RIP PHP 5.x. Well, this is a really good version, man. I mean, I loved it. It was really, really good. PHP 7 has a lot more goodies up there, especially with the types and the type variables. I love those even more because it makes your code much tighter. So, what we're going to do is, where I was getting with this is, we're going to follow exactly how PHP goes on. So in November, 7.2 will be done completely, somewhere here-ish. And then January 2021, we're going to be supporting 7.3 up until before January 22. Now, bear in mind that there is this discussion that potentially by December, we're going to have a new version of PHP 8, at least for people to see. I don't know. I don't know. It's questionable whether they're going to be able to make it. But still, once PHP 8 is out, Phalcon will definitely have a little bit of work in order to make sure that we compile versus PHP 5 and we have all sorts of issues sorted out. I'm going to repeat this. I said this before. We're not going to make a mistake. We'll learn from our mistakes where we had version 3 and it was not compatible with PHP 7. And that hurt the framework a lot because a lot of people just wanted to upgrade to PHP 7 and just couldn't. So it took us a while to fix all these issues. It was a completely new engine. I don't know what the change will be between 7 and 8. There have been a lot of changes in the engine as well. They're talking even about a just-in-time compiler and all that. One of the things that I am happy about is they're going to be introducing some some sort of lists or caching or and all that stuff, and really tightening the types of variables and all that. So yeah, I'm really excited about those things. But you know, we'll see how it goes. So to answer to Moisey or Moisey, sorry. We don't know exactly the number of sites that are developed with Phalcon. A lot of sites cannot be advertised because they're internal projects. What we do know is that Apple is using it internally. A friend of mine actually went for an interview with Apple, and it was funny because they were asking him, well, do you know Phalcon? And he started laughing. He said, yeah, sure, I do. So they were, oh, wow, okay. Yeah, it was really hilarious to see that. So yeah, Apple uses it unless something changed. The city of Guadalajara in Mexico is using it for their analytics. That was back in version 2 or 3. I know that from what I do, the FAA, what you call it, the air traffic controllers in the United States, they use it for their training. It's a project I'm involved in. A really big background check provider is using it for their background checks. I've pulled up buildwith.phalcon.io. This is a website that we have available, and you can submit your site using a pull request, and it will come up. You know, it's kind of like free advertisement for you. It's not really. How should I put this? It's not extremely pretty. I mean, it doesn't have that much of a search and all that. We can work on something like that. I don't mind. We can make some sort of a database based on a JSON file or something, and then throw next at the front or view that you will be able to search different things. It's just one thing that we haven't put a little bit of time to it. This started as an effort by way back when. It was kind of like a clone of what Angular JS did. And we built this in Phalcon, but then, people kind of like forgot it. It was never advertised that much, so people would not put their stuff in there. Moses, thank you. So, we could try and advertise this a lot more. There's also these other things that people don't really know about. That's why you haven't seen it that much. Let me see if I can pull it up. You see this little thing here where it says used by? This is an automatic thing that comes from GitHub. If you have a project and I think it has to be open source, might not be sure, and you put something like this into your project that you require, then this would actually get updated. So the more people do this, the more this used by will actually start increasing. With what Radoslav said, I don't want to forget this. So you build a Zephyr extension that requires Phalcon. Yes, you can do that as long as that extension is loaded after Phalcon. And I have done that in the background check company. We built an extension with encryption and decryption keys that were using the encrypt and decrypt of Phalcon. I think it was the crypt component, yes. And that was doing on-the-fly encryption and decryption from data from Elasticsearch, which is really cool. John says, client I've worked for used Phalcon 3.4. That's how I discovered it. It's true that a lot of projects use it, but they're internal apps. Yeah, it is. I can tell you for sure that if people, all right, let me phrase this a little bit better. There's various types of people in this world, right? Some of them are, they're comfortable with what they know and they just don't want to do anything else. They're just perfectly fine. There's some people that are extremely uncomfortable what they think they know, and they're afraid of their shadows. So trying something new is completely no. And there's people that always live on the edge, that they will try the latest and greatest. They can even run beta versions. Their computer can crash at any given point and they will rebuild it overnight and all that stuff, right? So you can tell who I am. The ones that are not afraid of change, that they're not afraid to expand a little bit their knowledge, to tinker and all that stuff, those are the ones that they will try something new and they will not go with the establishment. If you remember from 2006, 2007 onwards and all that stuff, who was the leader? All right, the leader was Net Framework. Nobody else knew anything else. I mean, some people were going towards maybe YAF, not even Yi. Yi was a little bit later coming up. And there were not that many frameworks. Symfony was very powerful, not as much, right? So Zen framework was the thing to do. And then later on, they got into Zen framework. I think it was 2 going into 3 or something like that. And then it was the time that Laravel started coming up. And the reason Laravel became so successful was because they allowed people that are not tinkerers. They allowed the first batch of people that I talked to, the ones that know X amount of things and they don't want to know anything else. Not the ones that are afraid of their shadows. Allow those people to have a very, very short learning curve. All right. So what they would do is, okay, well, I'm happy to learn something new because it's 2 lines of code. That's how. And then immediately they gathered a huge amount of people. And after that, it becomes a kind of like a snowball effect. It becomes word of mouth. Oh, this influencer is using it, and then that influencer is using it. Oh, maybe I should try it. And then lo and behold, somebody creates a video. The video gets 100 million views or whatever. I'm just making numbers up. And then the second video comes up, and the third video comes up, and then you have all this wealth of support and contributions from people around the world trying to help others, and so on and so forth. But all this came because it is popular. It's not necessarily that because it's the best. And yeah, I mean, we live in this world. Not necessarily the best product will be the most popular. I'll give you the example of Windows. It was never the best product, all right, but it is popular even now, right? So yeah, Moses, it would be great to increase supporters. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you on that. We're trying our best. If you notice, since last year, we started getting more code with me and stuff like that, and more um, hangouts like this where we just sit around and just goof around, goof off. Of course, we have this stupid virus going around. Everybody's stuck inside. All right, we got another 5 minutes for the DLLs to be done. But yeah, the goal is to get as many people as possible. We did try to go into different conferences. Um, we haven't been accepted yet. What else? We got accepted into the GitHub sponsors. We got some good coverage from those guys because they had our logo up there even on the recent mailing. The GitHub organization, when they send out announcing sponsors, our logo was up there. So we're trying as much as possible to get exposure as much as possible. We were actually featured in the PHP annotation nightly or monthly, sorry, last month when we released our newest version. So all these things, we kind of like check them, and we try to as much as possible to get exposure, get the word out. The problem that we have is that we're only four people, right? And if you really think, if you forget the virus for now, right? Let's assume that we're before virus. We're gonna have 2020 BV and AV, so before virus, after virus. So if you look at it, okay, Sergey is deep into C and Zephyr and all that stuff, and he's trying his best to provide huge support towards Phalcon, especially with Zephyr. Okay. Then you have Anton, who single-handedly maintains a ton of repositories. You know, the dev tools. He's handling now the incubator. He has plans on rewriting the whole forum application and so on and so forth. He's converted a lot of the applications into V4. Who is taking care of Pickle? He's taking care of ID stubs and so on and so forth. And you have me that does pretty much the rest of the stuff, plus the coding and the social media. Well, that's great, but we all have day jobs. So that's the biggest problem. And some of us do have families. And some of us, that other guy, have girlfriends. So you have to you have to answer to a higher force. So that's the point. If we were not 4 and we were 8, right? Let's say double that, and you had more people working, let's say on incubator or on the dev tools or stuff like that, things would have been a lot easier. A lot of these issues would have been gone, right? If you had people that were pretty much native speakers in English go through all the documentation, make proper adjustments and fixing the English on the documentation, yeah, our documentation would be rock and roll. But you know that's just me writing, right? And trust me, it was a pain in the butt to just go through all the documents. So I think with where I'm getting at is, I think with all the stuff that we have done so far, uh, looking at the size of our team, I think we're doing pretty well, right? So Uh, Iftikhar says we have built our company framework on top of Phalcon. It's really fast. Good to hear, buddy. Moses is working with it for 6 years. Amazing framework. Piotrax, respect to you, buddy. So interactive company. We're building our customer dashboard. It's similar to CPAN to Phalcon 4. Nearly done. Oh, look at you. We will need screenshots if you can, and I'm more than happy to host a blog post on your experience. Talk with your bosses. I don't know if you're the boss at So Interactive, and the offer is there if you guys want to take it on. Okay. Uh, okay. So back to the thing.
By the way, that goes for everybody.
Yeah,
If you got
absolutely.
something cool to mention on our blog, send us yeah, an email.
All right, so here is what we do. Come on. All right, compare and pull request. So this is the moment of truth. Yay! 4.0.6 release. Okay. So, and then we're gonna put it into this project. And then so 4 to master. Let's see.
Looks good to me.
Oh, wow, it's a girl. I didn't know. All right, let's put working on it. All right, so this is the key now. You have to wait for all of these to finish. Yay. Because these are the key here, the PRs and all that stuff. So you need this and you need this. Yeah, so this one is the one that failed on the initial run, which is okay. I mean, it's not crazy. All right, so this one is running. Okay, once we do that, then next step, create a draft. We're gonna have to wait. Nonly.com is written with Phalcon. Hope it's not a porn site. Oh, look. Cool. All right, so that you guys know, don't think that this is a slow website. My internet connection is not that fast right now, so just try and get this thing. All right, let's see. Maybe it's a little bit faster now. There you go. All right, to a different host. Yeah, cool. Cool stuff. That's the other thing. I mean, it's difficult to figure out whether a site is written with something. Okay. To give you an idea, if you have Vue or Angular, or React, it's really easy to see that that website uses those technologies because you can see the JavaScript library. For this one, for instance, for Nonly, is just a marketing site that shows you, hey, this is what we're going to do. And unless it has this kind of information in the about, if there is an about page, then you don't know what the engine is behind it. I think there was this one big company, was it Cloudflare, that they said that they were using Laravel. Was it Cloudflare or somebody else?
Not sure.
And the funny thing was that they posted something on Twitter. It's somewhere in our Twitter feed. I caught that a few weeks ago. So they posted, hey, we're doing this, we're doing that, blah, blah, blah. And one of the guys are supported, like, why did you choose Laravel? Why did you choose Phalcon? And I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, this is...
I totally missed it.
This is trolling.
By the way, you just talked about using a different front end. I got an example of a website that's almost live, but I got a public URL. I will drop it in the chat. And it is a Vue front end with a Phalcon backend.
Nice. Nice. Oh,
and it's in Dutch,
way to go. By the way, way to go. So interactive. It's up to you if you want to advertise it, if you want to post it. That would be great. Moses, yes, it's great. And again, if you know Nonly, the people, and they want to advertise their whatever their stories behind how Phalcon can help them or has helped them, by all means, we can just promote all that. Rude just posted the website that has been built on Vue with a card, and I also have some other news for you guys. All right, this is the Vue site. Okay. Oh, I've seen this before. Yeah, you showed this to me before. Look at this. Netherlands.
So it's a website, a local website that is showing all the monuments and things you can visit, walking routes and things like that. So it's only a part of the website. The other website is almost finished.
You bring back so many memories, man. I used to go to all these places. I was in England, so it was what, 40 pounds to just cross the channel and go straight to Antwerp or Amsterdam. It was so cool. A friend of mine lived in Maldegem in Belgium, so it would be so easy to just cross this thing. This for people that do not know this line that is supposed to be the border, it's literally a sign. So you're driving on the road and you're saying, "Oh, now we're in the Netherlands." So it's really cool. So anyway, a small announcement. One of our friends, Kaikonen, MC Tech, he has been working on this really awesome project called Canvas, and he has been building it in a way that it can help developers wire an application with an API, Ajax, and Vue in the front end, and so on and so forth. So kind of like your presentation layer can be handled by Vue, and your backend is just an API sending you stuff in. So the presentation layer of your application is just JSON, and then you accept JSON in the browser, and you can do anything you want with it. But he sent me a message, and he was saying that they're kind of like in the final stages. They're getting close to a good release in the next few months. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna offer a Canvas as a means to build an application very quickly, and that's freaking awesome. So yeah, very excited about that. More on that as soon as we hear back from Max. Max is his name, and yeah, really cool stuff.
I think for now, maybe we can check if there are more questions, and otherwise we round it up and post the updates in Discord.
Yeah, we could do that, because this thing is gonna take what 30 minutes at least for the DLLs to be built,
Something like that.
and then create the release, just publish it, and then go and publish the package cloud stuff, and so I mean, it is time consuming, and we don't want to keep you. We're already what, how much time we're in?
We're almost 105 minutes.
Okay,
almost 2 hours.
So we're 1 hour and stuff. So if you guys need any questions or have any concerns, want to discuss anything, by all means, now is the time, while we're kind of like waiting. Okay, well, I guess we don't have anything else.
I don't think so. Do you have anything else to mention out?
No, I've been talking non-stop, man.
That's right.
And to the point that people get bored of listening to me. Probably they have me on mute or something like that.
Oh, Yotrax is want to show something.
Okay. What? What do I want to do?
Yotrax in the chat is want to show his website, I think.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't hear that you said Yotrax, and I thought you wanted to show something. So yeah, this is the slow poke here. That's why we want to go to. I don't know if he can post it, Rude. That's the key. He can post URLs because or maybe he can. I don't know.
I think he still needs to deploy it.
No, I mean, in the chat, I've seen people not being able to post URLs. So, but you can because you're a moderator.
All right.
So most likely, if your tracks wants to post something, do not put the HTTP. Just put the site, only the site.
Yeah, or replace the dots with underscores.
Yeah, that works too. Working to install it. All right. Okay. That's excellent. So yeah, exciting things coming down the pipeline, guys. So with 4.1, hopefully we're gonna be one step closer to where we want to be. And I did mention earlier the rewriting of the HTTP stack. That is gonna be a pain in the rear behind to get everything to fit into place, because there's a lot of moving parts trying to get that. If you think about it, it's going to be a different way of dispatching, a different way of routing, and so on and so forth. We'll see how that goes. The goal is to try and make it as flexible as possible. So if you want to use the way Phalcon is right now, you can. And if you want to use the new way of where we are going to go slowly, you can that too. So it's either or. So, question: your tracks, is it gonna take you long, or you're nearly there? Just asking. I don't want to keep everybody waiting here. Um, if you need more time to build this, we can shut this thing down and we can offer your site as a URL to the community in Discord, or we can put it into the build with. It depends. All right, 5 minutes. We can just talk a little bit for 5 minutes, but 11:55 my time, and 1 second we're shutting it down if you're not ready. We're gonna be looking at the beautiful wait for the build kind of part.
If you finish it, I think you will be the first programmer who says it's gonna take 5 minutes and will be finished in 5 minutes.
I know, right? This is the part that we need to keep. It's from here. Yeah, my kitty cat is here. I've been on other news, just to get everybody on other news. I've been working to make you laugh. This is what I've been working on. See that big hole up there? And the panel all the way there?
Oh, if you enter the screen, we're now still seeing your screen. So if you enter screen sharing, we can see it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Hold on a second. Let me stop screen share. All right. Can you see me now? I think you should. Yes. All right. So, we're getting crazy around here. So you see that huge hole in the ceiling and patch panel? There you go. So what I've been doing is...
Looks good.
Well, so this is you know, kind of like a room on this side that doesn't have doors and all that stuff. So right there is where the panels are and where the network connections come in and all that stuff. And right here on this side is where my computers are up there and all that stuff. So I just have a cable that's run there, right? So I just want to be cute. I want to run a cable that goes up, comes to the ceiling up here, and then goes that way. And then I can create an RJ45 socket down there, and then I just plug it in the socket. Really, I mean, it's what? It's 3-4 meters this way, another 2 meters this way. But you know, we gotta do something. So I opened the ceiling, and I'm gonna seal it later on. But here's the crazy thing: I found out that there was a vent there that was supposed to either blow cold air or when the air conditioning is on, or hot air, and the stupid developer blocked it. The drywall was on top of the vent. So thank God I opened that hole, and now I can actually open the little hole for the vent to come in.
Oh wow!
So I'm gonna be cutting up here on the ceiling and then there, and then I'm gonna come this way. I'm gonna come up to here, and then go that way, because on that wall over there is my TV. So I'm gonna bring a network connection over there. And then slowly, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the putty and just put it back together, and then later on probably paint it. So,
It'll take a few years.
You gotta get something going to keep your mind occupied and all that stuff. So that's what I've been doing.
I think everybody is like doing stuff in their houses now due to Corona.
Yeah, there was a documentary. They were saying that this couple decided that they want to build stuff in their garden, you know, make plants and, you know, vegetables and all that stuff. And they were saying that they saved close to $19,000 a year by just growing stuff there: potatoes, tomatoes, lettuce, and everything. And they were showing their grandkid. So everybody tries to keep occupied, do something.
Yeah,
crazy.
Exactly. Keep up the good work, guys. It's amazing work. Thanks, Moaz.
Thanks,
How do you say
Moses.
it? Moses.
Moses, yes.
Moses. Okay, cool.
All right, so this one should be.
How's Yotrex doing?
Huh?
Yotrex, can you give us an update?
I don't know, man. Four. That's the. Okay, so this one. Okay. So this one has a few of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So 3 times 6, 6.5. Oh, that's around 15 minutes or more. And then we're gonna have to create the release. So let me just go and do this. Draft a new release. And that will be V4. Nope. Nope. Let's pick that up. Let's make it 6.
Some cool news, John. John is building, speaking about apps using Phalcon, and he's using Phalcon to build an app for his thesis.
Nice, excellent, good stuff.
So, John, for you the same thing. We want to see that in a blog post.
Exactly. The invitation is always there for everybody.
Okay, I think we're gonna round up. Yotrex has some issues with his host. Doesn't have Phalcon installed, so probably take some more.
It's okay, man. It's okay. It's all good.
We'll show it in the next Hangout. No worries.
Yeah, we can show it in the next one. So not a big deal.
Okay. I think then we're gonna end the stream. If you've got any questions, come to Discord, hang out with us there, and yeah, hope to see you next time, guys. Let's wave.
Thank you guys. Thanks to everybody. Hey Fred, hi. Yeah, I mean, we're trying, guys. We're trying to keep everybody in the loop. So how we do these things. So hopefully we're gonna have more. We're gonna try and do more code with me hangouts, just to get everybody a little bit out of the craziness of stay inside your house kind of thing, which you can tell I don't like. So,
well, we can do some pizza night or something someday.
Yeah, we can do a pizza night and just eat pizza in our own house, all of us.
Yeah, eat pizza together and make something cool.
Yeah, true.
If you guys have any other ideas for our hangout, please post some comments in Discord.
Okay, when is the next hangout? I don't know. This week coming, maybe next. We can do that.
Like in 2 weeks, maybe, or 3 weeks, something.
Either this week coming or the week after. Let me quickly see something here. So this week coming is the between 18 and 22. Let's say around either next weekend, 23, or somewhere within the week. I mean, what do you guys like? You like weekend or a week? Because I know that some people are just getting crazy working from home or sitting at home, and they just want something in the day, or weekday kind of thing. So yeah. Feel free to ping us on Discord and just let us know what days would you like. We can make them shorter if you want, spend an hour and just chit chat, or and what we can do, Ruud, is I don't know how many people Zoom allows.
I got a pro account, so we can do 100. So that will be fine.
Okay, well, what we could do is we could have one where everybody comes, we send an invitation, and we just, all right, it would be perfect for Hangouts, probably do one. And then we can have the whole community just coming in and people even talking.
Sounds good.
Because right now it's just all of us talking.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be nice to
have next weekend or the weekend after, end of the month.
I will check, yeah. And we're gonna have some pizzas and we're gonna build something together. It will be fun.
All right.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
How to install 4.03 in CentOS. Trax, can you come to Discord? And then we help you out there. And then we'll round it up here.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Keep up the good work. Keep coding. And what else?
Nothing else. Just gonna say thank you and see you next time. And we'll keep you posted on Discord for the release.
Excellent.
Cheers, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you.